All right, I'm live again. I'll see if YouTube will send out the notification. I know I was live on Friday, and technically Sunday is my day to go live. And I said I didn't know if I was going to go live, and I just randomly decided to go live. So let's see if anyone joins. If not, it will be a very short live. It was kind of like a spur of the moment, and of course, I'm still late because I said usually 1:30, but it's already 1:40. I see one person has joined the chat. Say hello if you are here. Again, like I said, usually I would go live at 1:30. I know I was live this past Friday, but I felt compelled to come on again. Hey Needham, how are you, dear? I'm glad you're here. Round two, back to back. I usually never do lives this close to each other, but it's all good. Hello everyone. If you're here, say hello, join in. I know a couple people said last Friday or this past Friday, I said last Friday, like it was months ago, that they missed me, and they had a lot of questions they wanted to ask. So Sundays are usually the days I do go live. So hopefully they will pop in today. I was in the midst of cleaning my house, so that's why I was running a little bit late, but I'm here. Thank you for the likes. Let's YouTube tell people that, my live is out and people are interested in it. We can do some follow up from Friday, or we could talk about new herbs. We can talk about really whatever we want to talk about. Maybe not kids screaming in the back. But yeah, let me know how you're doing. Hi, Chrissy. How are you? Say hello. Say where you're from. Let me know how you're doing this Sunday. Nita says, Happy Sunday. Looking forward to doing my hair challenge today during Super Bowl. Listen, I was actually about to start doing my hair, and then I was like, you know what? Let me come on because I had it in the bun, and then I was about to pre-poo, and I was like, you know what? Let me just go on and get live, answer some questions. I haven't been live on a Sunday in a little while, so that's why I was like, let me just go ahead and pop on. Hey Ghibli, how are you, dear? It's been forever. How are you, sis? Hey Needham. She says she's from Baltimore. Okay, so your weather's probably similar to mine. It's kind of nice today. It's kind of nice. I was like cleaning the bathroom, sweeping, mopping, doing some dishes, finishing up some laundry, stuff I should have done yesterday, but it's today. Whatever. Oh, Needham, you're in Las Vegas. I'm sure Vegas weather is like, I'm so jealous. I'm ready to kind of take a little mini vacation. So, I'm trying to be out. I'm trying to be out and somewhere warm. Juice said, I'm doing good. Doing my thing out in the New York. Okay, all right, all right. So Nita, are you doing the herbs for hair loss this week? Hey Rayma, how are you? She says, A caught the live. Are you doing herbs for hair loss, or are you a little bit further behind? I know like people can join the challenge at any time, and I don't want to say behind, you just on a different week. That's all. We can talk about herbs for hair loss. The last challenge we did herbs for hair loss. I titled this herbs for hair growth and for hair loss. Some people are maybe on a range of both. And so, yeah. So, Nita, you're doing the moringa and amla mask. So excited. I see the hair growth too. Yeah. It's funny, Nita. I actually saw this past video that I did this past week. I saw my hair looked a bit longer, and I was like, okay, we're like, I mean, for me, remember I started a week before you guys did, so I'm like starting week 6 or week 7. I forget where I'm at now, but I definitely am seeing the growth. Y'all know I cut my hair back in November, December. I cut it, and now I'm just growing it back out again. Y'all know when I get busy, I always tend to cut my hair, and I feel like these hair challenges help me to stay on track and be consistent. And every time I use my gloss bars very consistently, the henna, the amla, the fenugreek, the neem, the bringraj, the brahmi, my hair always, I feel like, takes off. I just see the new growth. The Moringa Amla Gloss Bar is also amazing. I don't know if you have the gloss bar, you just have the mask. Both herbs are great for hair growth. Moringa has 92 of the 102 vitamins, nutrients, and minerals that you need for your body to thrive and live. So it's really good for the hair. It has tons of iron, vitamin D, tons of amino acids, anti-inflammatory properties. Moringa is bomb. Moringa is bomb. So, if you can incorporate it in some form or fashion this week as well, like in your diet, like take a scoop of moringa if you have it, the moringa powder, do so as well. I'm taking a number of herbs and things. So, y'all know I love it. I love it. Ghibli says, How far apart should the henna gloss bar and protein treatment should be? So Ghibli, on the challenge, I have them 3 weeks apart. So that's what I do. I always want to tell you also listen to your hair, but that far apart works out for me because after I do the henna treatment, I really focus on moisture in the following weeks, lots of moisture. You deep condition, and then the following week we're just gonna do a nice co-wash. We're gonna get that moisture back into your hair, a couple wash days, and then I'll do the protein treatment. The next protein treatment I'm going to be doing will be a hardcore protein, probably one of my, excuse me, apogee. So yeah, get on. That works. That works. Judy says, Oh, wait, that was a question. Anita says, can I put a little brownie in my mask? Saving to buy a group of stuff from your store, especially the glosses. Oh yeah, you can definitely add a bit of brownie. I would say I don't know how much you're making. Like I don't know how long your hair is, but I would start anywhere with like maybe like a quarter cup of brownie into your mask. Brownie does have like strengthening properties too, so does a little bit moringa. So don't add, I wouldn't add too much, but brownie is great for strengthening those herbs, strengthening those roots. So if you didn't catch my video from this past week, definitely, definitely check it out. I'll talk about all the benefits of using brownie. Raymond said, did the bring raj mask yesterday, and I actually had to add a tablespoon of almond bring raj to it, actually seeing growth and new strands coming in. Oh, yay. I love that. I love that. Like, I definitely, I'm telling you, like, I definitely can see the difference already. Like, even in like the pull test, like when I'm just putting the product in my hair, it's already reaching a little bit longer. I'm starting to see the difference, and that's about right for me. Like, I grow about a half an inch a month. So I'm like 6, 7 weeks in. So I'm coming around like the inch of hair growth. So it's becoming very tangible for me. Probably, I don't know if you guys can see it, but I'm in my hair all the time. Hey Rissy, she says, "Hi y'all, happy Super Bowl food and Super Bowl ads day." Yeah, yeah. I will be watching the Usher show. That's really what I'm here for. I watch the Super Bowl somewhat. I don't know. I'm not really invested in any of the teams in the Super Bowl right now, but Usher's concert, yes, and I'm gonna try and get tickets. I was dying to see him when he was in Vegas, so I'm definitely excited to watch his concert and I mean him at the Super Bowl. Are y'all gonna be watching today too? Or you say yes, Bring Raj is so nice. But yeah, Bring Raj is a great herb. Bring Raj and Brahmi, both really powerful herbs, king of herbs, great for the hair growth, great for preventing hair fall. Um, but feel free to ask questions about that. I know I may get off topic, but just when we're on live, it's whatever flows. The conversation probably goes in a number of ways. He's only interested in Usher too. Yeah, he's such a great performer. He puts on such a show, and I can't believe like after all this time, like he's now only getting a show to perform at the Super Bowl. So I'm excited. I'm excited to watch it. I'll probably be doing like when I finish this live, I'll probably pre-poo my hair and then I'll start filming and probably have the deep conditioner in if I don't go out for the Super Bowl. Chrissy says, "What are your favorite herbs and why?" So my favorite, I would say like my three top favorite herbs, henna being henna being number one. Henna was the first herb I ever was introduced to, and I'm talking about like 15 years ago. Henna Sook was the first one I ever bought henna from when she had just opened up shop. And I feel like I saw the most benefits for my hair. So if you don't know, I have very fine and low porosity strands, and henna acts, like that protein, it builds up on the hair cuticle and it provides that strength. And with my fine strands, it was just, I don't know, I felt like I experienced so much growth in those first few years learning about henna, and has been a staple through the last 15 years, which is kind of crazy. Next up, I would say is amla powder, which is like an OG classic too. I also used to mix amla and henna in my mask. Almost good with that, vitamin C. It's great for hair growth. It's great to prevent hair loss. Can help extend the anagen phase, which is a hair growing phase. Great for those who are suffering from like DHT and all of that. uh, it's just a great herb, and it's been studied by research, scientific research to show that it does actually encourage hair growth. One of those few herbs that does. And yeah, and my third herb, it's kind of hard because it's almost gonna be, I would say, like a tie between fenugreek and moringa, right? Um, I love fenugreek. I've done like probably like so many videos on fenugreek because you can hydrate fenugreek and it creates a really, really gelatinous mass. Like if you hydrate it overnight, it gets very like creates a lot of mucilage. And that mucilage has like amino acids. So it has some strengthening properties, but it has a lot of slip for detangling, a lot of moisture. It also has a component in it that's patented right now, and it's shown to actually stimulate hair growth in all living creatures. So I definitely like love fenugreek, and then of course I love moringa, as I kind of already mentioned at the beginning of this video, because it does have all of your vitamins and nutrients. Literally 92 of the 102 vitamins and nutrients needed to survive are found in this one herb. Again, it has properties for hair loss, properties for hair growth. It has your amino acids. It's hard for me to to say which one I like between the two. They're like almost tied for number three, third place. Um, all right, I'm gonna go through here, and if anyone wants to share their favorite herbs and why, like, feel free to share as well. I'm also going to be after this challenge ends. I'm going to be introducing some of the Chinese herbs that I talked about in my herbs for hair growth video. So the video I did, I think it was almost, oh my goodness, like maybe 3 months ago or 2.5 months ago. I talked about 15 herbs, and I did 5 herbs from Ayurvedic medicine, 5 herbs from from African herbs, and then 5 Chinese herbs. And so I really want to also delve into like Chinese medicine and Chinese herbs and trying those. So like I'm excited. So once the challenge is over, I'll do some playing around with that. We'll see where that leads. Y'all know this is how I eventually end up like creating new products and formulating new things is, trial and error, right? And trying it long before I actually decide to mix and formulate with it. No, 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 no. Chrissy says, yes, I'm watching for the Deadpool 3 trailer and the funny commercials. Yeah, I love the commercials. They're like the best. Chrissy says, how long do you pre-poo? So if I'm just doing like an oil finger detangle pre-poo, usually I do for like an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And it kind of just depends on what I'm doing. Like sometimes I'll like pre-poo like more quickly because I'm just like, all right, I just want to get through wash day, right? And then sometimes I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put this in my hair and then I'm gonna go grocery shopping. I'm gonna go do laundry. I'm gonna go do other things. But I would say a minimum of 1 hour, and then I go with my regular wash day. Tiffany says, hey, I'm heading to the airport. Oh, well, drive safely, have fun. I hope you're going somewhere nice, warm. Moon Radiate says, hey, only watching for Usher too. Yeah. Listen, a lot of us are. A lot of us are. Raymond says, I love the way your mask made my scalp feel. What time is the halftime show? I actually have no clue what time the halftime show is. I think the Super Bowl starts, let's see. Super Bowl starting time. Um, mm, 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 mm. Okay, but what time does it start at? Like, I don't really care about the previews. I just want to know what time it starts. 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I would say probably maybe like an hour and a half from that. So probably around 8. I'd probably log in like if you're gonna turn on like 7:45. Um, but probably usually like the Super Bowl is usually about 3 hours. So an hour and a half. So I would probably tune in like by 7:40 just in case. I don't think, they usually have longer commercials and all that, but yeah, around that time I would start to just turn it on so you can hear it. Let's see. Denise says, hi, Michelle. I have 2 questions. First, I bought the Chevrolet whip. Oh, the Chevy, the Chevy with butter on my scalp. And next, first, I bought the Chevy with butter on my scalp. And next, I would like to use a gloss bar. But I have gray hair, so I want to be careful not to stain my gray. Um, what what gloss bar did you buy, Denise? Sorry, did you say? Yeah, okay, you say Chevy, not Chevrolet. Yeah, I hate autocorrect. Girl, autocorrect be killing me. Autocorrect be making me sound like I can't speak all the time. Voice to text too. What gloss bar did you use? So I do have some gloss bars that don't stain the hair. They're gray hair, but which one do you have? Reese says travel safe, Tiffany. Yeah, definitely travel safely. And you can use a shea butter with butter on the scalp. I'm also not necessarily a fan of butters on the scalp, but I know a lot of people do. Are you using it because you feel like your scalp is very like dry and tight and you're looking for like added moisture on the scalp, Denise? Chrissy, that's a great list. I want to get back into henna and omelet. It had my hair really strong. Fenugreek and moringa, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, henna is, I don't know, henna and omelet have been bae for years. So I love it. Raymond says, love henna, amla, and bunu, hibiscus, and rose. Yeah. It's funny. I think, Raymond, you was the one who commented under that video where I did that Mbunu mask. You almost made me like miss Mbunu. I actually still have quite a bit of Mbunu in the house. Um, I'm definitely gonna like once the challenge is over, get back to doing some like DIY recipes because those are also really fun too. And I think like mixing them with like the Chinese herbs and kind of just doing a little bit of playing around that will be fun. Hibiscus is also really good. Rose, oh man, rose is good. I use rose powder in my not in this one, but the my DIY conditioner, my conditioner bar that I did on YouTube like 3 years ago maybe. And rose was amazing. I don't know why I haven't got back to like using it. I use rose water a lot, but I haven't used like rose powder in some time. Moon Radius says, "Is it advisable to use a gloss bar as well in braids?" I would not. I would not use it in braids because it is very. It's not very grainy, but with the braids, sometimes, especially if you're using synthetic hairs, things get locked in there, and it creates like lint and like buildup, and just a lot more issues than I would do. If you want to use herbs on your hair and like you have braids on, I would recommend brewing a tea using hair teas. So I have a tea challenge we did 2 years ago, I think. Um, so you can use those herbs. You can brew a tea out of those herbs and still get some of those benefits. You can spray that on your scalp. You can spray it down the length of your hair. If you want something to moisturize down the length of your hair, I do have my oat and aloe leave-in conditioner, which has literally like 7 herbs in it. Very, very moisturizing, but doesn't create a lot of buildup. You still get all those benefits from the herbs. So yeah, Chrissy said Chinese herbs. Interesting. Yeah. So, Chrissy, there, the video, it's like the video did like 15 herbs. There was like 5 of them that have been studied to show to stimulate hair growth, and they use it in Chinese medicine. Not just for hair growth, but for like to heal the scalp. And some of them they take internally. So, I'm excited to kind of just delve into some new things, some new herbs. And like, I will say this, Chinese people have some of the most coarse, thick, long hair I've ever seen. Some of that is definitely tied to genetics, right? Again, the individual thickness of your strand is genetically decided. It's not something you can change. Um, but they do tend to have more coarse hair. So I'm excited just to learn something new and see if I can incorporate it, if it has benefits, if it's moisturized, if it's not, just to learn more. I love learning. Needham says, moringa and hibiscus are faves. I want to try baobab. I know I'm mispronouncing baobab powder first. Yeah, I haven't tried the powder, but I've definitely heard of that. It's like a nut, right? And they like, what do they like? I guess grate the nut down because I feel like I've heard of baobab butter. If I'm correct. I didn't know they had like a powder version of that. Chrissy says, "How long do you leave your henna gloss on?" I leave it on for like 5 or 6 hours. I would say nothing like the shortest time I've ever done was probably like 3 hours. But I tend to do is like do it overnight, like right before I go to bed. I'll put the henna on, or if I'm gonna be home all day for a good portion of the day, I'll start right in the morning, put the henna on, leave it on for an extended period of time. I'm also using henna to color my hair, and for me to get the best dye results is you need to leave it on for a maximum amount of time. This time I didn't do an indigo treatment after my henna, but I do sometimes will, do a henna and indigo treatment. So if I leave it on, like if I'm gonna do an indigo treatment, I would probably do like 3 hours henna, 3 hours indigo, just because it's already a long time. If I'm just doing like a pure henna treatment, I'll leave it on like 5, 6 hours because I'm just doing one step. Oh, and the 20th puppy bowl. Oh, Rissy says, and the 20th puppy bowl is on in a few minutes. Oh, is it? Oh man, I wish I could watch it. um, let's see here. Sorry, I'm sitting in my bed, y'all. I'm sitting in my bed. Let's see. Oh, Raymond says, starting to really love fenugreek and moringa. I add ashwagandha to everything, along with rosemary, peppermint, and tea tree essential oil. All wonderful, all really, really good herbs. Rosemary and peppermint, y'all know that's in all of my oils that I have for the scalp. Really great for helping to stimulate that hair growth. Really, really good. Ashwagandha is also a powerful herb. If y'all don't know, it's an adaptogenic herb. And it really helps with stress and stress related hair fall. It also helps you can take that internally to help manage your stress levels. I have ashwagandha pills I take to help me with my anxiety. So definitely a great herb. Thanks. Herb says, and Bunu is a pre-poo. As a pre-poo is a must for me. The detangler is bomb. Yeah, it is. And Bunu is amazing. I definitely want to get back to that. And Bunu, and then the cactus that I did when I blended the cactus and I made all that mucilage from it. Those were so amazing. Yeah, I kind of miss doing some old DIYs. Like, it was a time. It was definitely a time. There's a lot of things going on now that I feel like a lot of, not just me, a lot of people have stopped doing certain DIYs because people were just like stealing your ideas. And it wasn't other YouTubers, it's other brands that are doing stuff right now, doing shady things. And a lot of people just stopped doing it. But, I might still pop in and do some fun things. Rose said, "Oh, I haven't tried the cactus prickly pear." Yeah, it was prickly pear, and I used the prickly pear with like the actual pear and the cactus pad. Bomb. I think if you type in NowIamNappy cactus, I'm pretty sure that video will come up. I'm pretty sure. I know I done it, but I don't remember what I titled it. What I titled it. Um, Okay, Chrissy says Usher has been an amazing performer for so long, for so long, and he deserved. Let me tell you, he deserved his Vegas residency for forever. He really did, and I'm glad he's back on tour because I definitely want to see him. He'll be in Philly, and my friends like, you want to go get? I'm like, let's just go, let's go blow a stack on his, get some good seeds and have fun. Maybe not a stack, but you know what I'm saying. Just spend some money. Let's see. Sassy says, "Hey Michelle, do your products have avocado oil in them? And if so, if someone is allergic to avocado, what product do you suggest to use?" Yes, my products do have avocado oil in them. Um, let me see. Not I don't I have to look. Not every product has avocado oil, but let me see something real quick because I want to say so like the O&L leave-in conditioner doesn't have it in there. Um, I do have it. It's crazy because I do have it. I was trying to remember if I added it into the styler. Sorry, that's my brain is like I'm looking here. So both the Onal leave-in conditioner and the hibiscus and shebe leave-in conditioner do not have avocado oil. Um, I'm lying. The Onal leave-in conditioner does have avocado oil. It's the hibiscus and shebe leave-in conditioner doesn't have avocado oil, and it's hard. Let me tell you, when I was creating the second line, which is the hibiscus and shea line, some people asked me not to put in like shea butter, certain butters like extra virgin and no olive oil. They were like no olive oil in it. Those are the things that people said they were allergic to. So I didn't remove it, but avocado was not one that I removed. So there is, I would say, avocado oil in pretty much um I would say almost everything. Almost everything. Um, so I'll say this, and I don't know this applies to everybody. I'm actually allergic to avocados, but I'm not allergic to avocado oil because it's from the seed. But I'm actually allergic to the flesh of the avocado. But I'm not saying, listen, I don't know if that applies to everybody across the board. But I am actually like severely allergic to avocado. Unfortunately, severely allergic to avocados. Like my throat closes on me. Let me see. Where you asking? Let me scroll down. Let me scroll back up real quick. You're saying if someone is allergic to, I mean, I would never say if someone is allergic to avocado, I can't speak to if they're allergic to avocado oil, I would say avoid it. Um, if they're like me and they're allergic to avocado, it doesn't necessarily mean you will be allergic to avocado oil. Those things are not always synonymous. But if you've never tried it, I wouldn't suggest trying it. Or if you want to do a skin test, you can do a skin test on it and see how your body responds to it. As long as you're not like deathly allergic to it, and maybe just put some on your skin and see how your skin responds. But I do know people who are allergic to, again, me included, the outside, the fleshy part, but not allergic to the seed. And let me just see what you said. You said my sister is allergic, and I suggested she try your line. She bought the styler, and she's concerned. I'll let her know. Thanks. Yeah. The leave-in conditioner doesn't have it. I think almost every other I know in the Oat line, there's avocado oil and all of that, and the hibiscus and shebe. I think the only one that doesn't have avocado is just the leave-in conditioner, the shampoo. Let me see. Does the detangler have? Excuse me. Let me see if the detangler has it. Yeah, the detangler has it too. So yeah, she would probably have to, I would say, find some other find some other products. I'm sorry. The other thing I believe also she could try if she's looking for just a non, even though it's like I can't say it's not bad. It's a really great bar. The conditioner bars don't have avocado. The conditioner bar does not have avocado in it. The conditioner bar, the hibiscus and shea leave-in conditioner doesn't. I'm trying to think of anything else doesn't have avocado. I have so many products now. I'm like looking at my list. None of the gloss bars have avocado oil in it. Um, but yeah, I think that's. Let me see if the brightening lights. I don't remember. Oh, and the bright. Okay, so the brightening lights, conditioner, deep conditioner, and shampoo do not have um avocado oil in it as well. And just as a note, just as a note, even though the brightening lights conditioner is what you call it, formulated for those with, and it's targeted to those with like gray hair. Anyone can use that line. It has a ton of herbs, really moisturizing herbs. It's just a low stain line because a lot of people who have gray hair and light colored hair, their hair gets stained by herbs. So it just has like slippery elm, marshmallow root, and all that. So I just obviously target it to those who do have gray hair, but anyone can use that line, just as a FYI. All right, let me scroll back up. Sorry. Okay, Chrissy says, I don't watch much TV, but I think I'm going to watch for him. Yeah, definitely watch for him, Chrissy. Denise says, yes, I bought the Shea whipped cream and want to know if it's okay to use on my scalp. Yes, my hair is very dry. I also bought the scalp oil with it. I'm looking to use your gloss bar for hair growth. So Denise, if your scalp and all that is dry, like butters and oils are good to help lock in moisture. What did you buy that I would say is hydrating? And when I say hydrating, I'm referring to something that's moisture, whether it's my products or not. Like you would need something that's hydrating before you add the butter or the oil, or your scalp is like perpetually will be dry. So butters and oils just can only lock in moisture, but they can't add like hydration to the hair. And hydration is something that's water based, and I would say water and humectant based, because water can leave and evaporate, but humectants help bind that water to your hair. So I would recommend, if you don't have something like the oat and aloe hydrating leave-in conditioner, something you can like spray in to get that hydration, and then lock in with the butter and the oil. Oh, so she pronounced baobab. Baobab. Okay, thank you. Because I was destroying it. I never thought about using baobab powder. It's full of vitamin C. Yeah, baobab powder is from the fruit and baobab oil is from the seed. Okay, okay. The fruit powder is used for smoothies and masks for hair and skin. Oh well, I definitely gotta try it. I definitely gotta try it. Says gotta love rosemary. Yeah, rosemary underrated but great herb. Yes, all of a sudden every brand has rosemary mint growth oil. You already know. And I was like, meanwhile, I will say I've been using it and other brands have been using rosemary and peppermint for like forever. But certain things just become very popular right now. Rosehip is really good to use. Rosehip oil. Also, I think rosehip oil is really good for the skin, from what I hear. Um, really good for the skin, and so I imagine it's also probably really good for the hair. I've actually never used it, but I do know people use it on their skin. Tanisha says, "Hey, I'm in Philly. I was looking for a hair mentor." Well, I mean, you can come join us on the channel. I'm not doing any like specific. Can I speak today? Specific like mentoring, but like you can always come on my lives, ask questions. Follow my channel. I have a ton of DIYs. We're doing a hair grow challenge. If you have questions about anything, like feel free to drop it in the chat. I'm going through and trying to answer everyone's questions. If you need help building a hair regimen, we can also talk about that on the live. Yeah, so welcome. I'm also Tanisha. I'm actually doing Black Hair 101, which is literally a series that I'm doing with the Free Library of Philadelphia. And so I'll be going around the city, actually teaching about the history of Black hair care, all the way down to today, what's going on, what's new in the industry, and how to build a hair care regimen. So if you ever want to meet me in person, you can come to one of the events. My next one is tomorrow. Tomorrow, where's my phone at? My next one is, I don't know where it's at. Tomorrow, I think at the Greater Olney Library. I have it in my email. So let me just check my email real quick. Let me see. Who was her name? What's her name? Library. Yeah, so the next one is tomorrow at hello? Can we scroll down? Yeah, tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. and that's the Greater Olney Branch Library, and that's at North Fifth Street. And then the final one of the series is Thursday, February 15th at 4 p.m. at the Tacony branch. So if you're available, I mean, you could also come out and come to any of those events. I will be there talking about all those things, and feel free to come and ask questions. Like I do like a bit of a presentation, and then it always ends in like a bit of a Q&A, and people can share their hair concerns. I do vend at those events too, so you can also get some hair products and learn more. Let's see here. Raymond says, "Love rose hip seed oil for skin and hair." Awesome. Sassy said, "My sister's allergic." I suggest. Okay, yeah, I did talk to her about that already. Sassy says she loves the styler, by the way. Oh, good. Good. Nueza says, "Hey everyone, how are you doing, Michelle?" I'm doing good. I got a little bit of rest. Friday I was a little bit tired, but I got a little bit of rest this weekend. So yeah. Tiffany says, "How did you find out the oil was okay for you?" Trial and error. Tiffany, I'm like the worst person. Like I have stuff that I'm allergic to and I always just try it out and see. Like I probably shouldn't, but I do. That's how I found out I was allergic to it. And then like I was like researching and I was talking to my dermatologist and she told me like seed and flesh are two very different things. So you can be allergic to one and not be allergic to the other thing. So yeah, that's how I found out though. But it was really through trial and error and then when speaking to my dermatologist, finding out that, but don't be like me. I mean, like if you want to like test a little on your skin and see, but if you have like severe allergies, I don't recommend just going out and being wild like I do sometimes. Hi Diane, how are you, dear? She says, "Hello, everyone." Rissy says, "I'm allergic to coconut oil and castor oil, y'all, so the struggle is real for me out here." Oh man. Oh man, Rissy, I hear you. I hear you. Well, I do have a few products without those products in it, without those ingredients in it. So I know you have I know you might have some, maybe you don't, I don't know. But I know when you have certain allergies, the struggle, because these are like common oils that people use in products because they have really great properties. And so I feel you, sis. Hi Tavi. She says, "Hey Michelle in chat. Hey Boom." Nancy says, "My scalp screams and kicks when I use oil." Yeah, and Nancy, oil's not for, and I tell you that, like, just putting on the scalp is not for everybody. Something we talked about in the last video I did, and something we talked about actually on this past Friday. You really have to know your hair and know your scalp, right? And we kind of talked a little bit on Friday about how our scalp naturally has bacteria, and it naturally has obviously sebum and things on the scalp, like all types of forms of bacteria on the scalp, and sebum and sweats and a whole bunch of things that are built up on the scalp. So sometimes the addition of more oil doesn't do anyone any favor, right? It's the reason why some people have dandruff, right? They have too much malassezia that's built up on the scalp over time. That's why they need to wash frequently, right? Because the buildup of the malassezia just creates dandruff and flakes. Versus some people who don't maybe have a lot of scalp sebum, they produce minimal sebum, and they can go sometimes weeks without washing and they don't have any buildup, they don't have any flakes, right? Um, oil using just use of oil may not be for everybody, right? And that's okay. As long as I say, as long as you're using products wisely, like your shampoos and your conditioners down the length of your hair, and you're getting those benefits, or if you're doing as Nat, I think Green Beauty says, like the scoop and spread, like she scoops the sebum from here and she spreads it down the length of your hair, right? And you're getting enough sebum down the length of your hair, you may never need to use like additional oils like in oiling your scalp. But I do think I will say this, and I say it all the time, I think it's important that the products you're using, like your conditioners, maybe not all of your leave-ins, but some of your leave-ins and stuff do have oils, because if you watch my scalp sebum video that I did, I think week 2 of the challenge, I talk about how important sebum is, and because those who have more tightly coiled hair, sebum doesn't spread down the length of our hair, right? So sebum for us generally stops in like here. But down here, our hair tends to be a bit drier, right? And that's because sebum does not necessarily penetrate or fall or glide down the length of your hair. Green Beauty talks about scoop and spread, so she like does this and like spreads it down the length of your hair. I don't necessarily do that. I give myself scalp massages. There might be some sebum that goes down here, but for the majority of us, how our hair benefits is from the use of products that contain certain oils and butters, because they have certain fatty acids, triglycerides, things found in our sebum that provide that protective barrier. So sebum is a protective barrier for the hair. It helps prevent breakage, it helps lock in moisture. They actually don't know the full nature of it, but it's so powerful. And other races who have straighter or less kinkier hair benefit from their scalp sebum, because and their hair doesn't have as much breakage, as much, I don't say issues, but as has an easier time with retaining length, has an easier time in retaining moisture, because the sebum is allowed to naturally fall down the length of the hair due to the fact of the structure of their hair. So I say all to say, if your scalp hates sebum, don't, I mean, if your scalp hates it, if your scalp hates oil, don't put it on the scalp. But just make sure you're incorporating a good mixture of oils and butters on the length of your hair so that your hair can still thrive. Ruby says, my hair is very dry and I'm 4C. Ruby, what is your hair regimen? How often are you shampooing? How often are you deep conditioning? How often are you moisturizing? Like, what is your routine? Anita says, I use rose hip on my skin and it's amazing. Yeah, I know it's really good for the skin, like very, very good for the skin. Denise says, "Hey Michelle, so I use your purple shampoo and the purple conditioner. I use the scalp oil before the shampoo and conditioner. I want to follow up with the shea whip butter. Thanks." So Denise, I would say you need something hydrating before that. So like the shampoo conditioner, great, wonderful. But if you've seen any of the videos, I always moisturize my hair right after wash day, right? So wash day, if you want to think of wash day as like your peak opportunity to add hydration to your hair, right? Shampoo lifts the cuticles, the conditioner deposits, but those of us with kinkier, coilier hair need more moisture and hydration. So after that, because once we rinse out the conditioner, it does leave your hair feeling good, right? But you still need a little extra, which is why they have the LCO or LOC method, right? And if nothing, you take nothing else from it. If you notice, L always remains the same, and that's your liquid, that's your leave-in, That's your hydration step. That's your water, glycerin, water, or liquid leave-in, the spray leave-in, something that's really, really hydrating with a humectant, right? That's where you're going to create the moist environment, and then you can seal in with an oil and butter. Some people don't need an additional cream. Some people don't need additional um uh like, twisting cream or styler. They can go from a good leave-in conditioner straight to a sealant. A lot of us, especially if you have gray hair, one of the big things I talk about actually in the Black Hair 101 series that I do is how gray hair is so different from your regular hair, your hair strands. Because okay, so most of us, I would say, and I'm just gonna make an assumption in this case, right? Most women of Black and African descent actually tend to have fine to medium strands. We don't tend to generally have coarse strands. Now, our hair, you may think your hair feels coarse, but your hair is generally on the fine to medium side. And I'm talking about the individual strand size, right? And so what happens is if you have fine strands like I do, they don't generally have an inner medulla. What happens when you have gray hair is that you start to have an inner medulla, so your hair becomes more coarse, more thick, right? And I want to say thickness because thickness is not necessarily the thing that I'm saying, but in this instance, fine strands just mean really tiny, thin strands. Medium strands or normal size strands just have a normal thickness and width. Coarse strands have thick like thread, right? It means the individual strand is thick like thread. And so what happens when you have an inner medulla and you're not used to having inner medulla because your hair is very fine and you don't have an inner medulla is your hair now suddenly becomes drier. It becomes more stiff. It becomes more rigid. If you notice gray strands just be like doing all types of sideways things and you're like, what is happening? Why are you so raggedy? And when my hair used to be so easy and so slick and so more manageable. And what happens is now you have an inner medulla, and that means it needs more hydration, right? Now you have your full three layers of your hair. You have the medulla, you have the cortex, and then you have the hair cuticle. So you need to make sure that your hair is getting properly hydrated. So that means literally soaking your hair. I would say using that leave-in conditioner, using that glycerin water or hydrating water before adding anything else to your hair after wash day. It just requires an extra step, and I would probably recommend you do the you do that liquid cream, yeah, liquid, and then adding a cream before adding any oils and butters to your hair. Because when you're at that stage and your hair is probably severely dehydrated, your hair might feel moisturized, but your hair is probably dehydrated. I would really focus on getting the hydration levels up. And that means literally using that leave-in conditioner, making sure it's penetrating into that hair strand, which means your cuticle should be nice and lifted. Um, it can penetrate deep into there, putting some type of cream on it, and then adding the butters and oils as the last final step to lock in that moisture. I know I said a lot, so if you have questions, like feel free to ask them. Um, Raymond says rosehip is said to help with smoothing, exfoliating, hydrating, boost collagen, color correction, anti-inflammatory, and more. Yeah, I heard about the boosting collagen and with color correction. I know that's why a lot of people use um, rosehip. Tavi says big companies are losing in the hair business as we transition into our own, and they don't get it. I get swamped with commercials about hair, but it's all wrong and sticking with the knowledge, right? And that's what I'm saying. There's there's a lot of information out there, but go with the science. And I'm glad like you're supporting me, and as I would say, support other Black-owned businesses who are teaching education about hair care products. And if they're even if they're not teaching education, you can still read the back of the label. You know what ingredients they are, you know what ingredients you want to look for, you know what ingredients you want to avoid. Stay away from these big companies. They're out to make the most profit, and they don't care. It could be at the expense of, again, watering down profit or watering down products, exchanging, ingredients um, that are cheaper, easier to find. They don't necessarily care about actual hair health versus us who are still small, and we know what it's like. We know the struggle. We want good products, and so we're sticking to, I say our most authentic selves because we want our hair to grow and thrive, and we want your hair to grow and thrive too. Um Janice, okay, thank you. You're welcome. It says resting is good. Yes. I haven't purchased hair products from a big company in about 7 years. Listen, that's awesome. It's been, I would say, outside of, so, I started my company like 3.5 years ago, but prior to that, I was using like Bask and Bloom, I was using Henna Sook, I was using a lot of like um not big companies. I will say the only big company I've ever purchased from in recently was as Apogee. And I don't know why I don't just formulate my own version of Apogee because I could, and I just need to go ahead and do that. But that's the only one that I'm still like, periodically will purchase, but that's it. Sharika says, hello, I'm late, but here. Hey, dear. At the beginning, so I'm behind. Well, don't worry. Come join us. We just talking about a few things here. Nancy says, thank you so much for the response, Michelle. You're welcome, dear. You're welcome. Ruby says, wash every 2 weeks, shampoo and condition, and I use castor oil and rosemary. Ruby, what it sounds like, and I think I kind of answered it when I was just talking to Nancy, is that you're not hydrating and moisturizing your hair before adding the castor oil and rosemary. The shampoo and conditioner are like good foundational steps. I think they're essential, but you just need to make sure that you're hydrating and moisturizing your hair afterwards. And hydration, again, is water and something humectant based. It could be honey, water glycerin, water agave, water panthenol, water polyquats, honeyquat, or a leave-in conditioner, like a spray leave-in conditioner. Most spray leave-in conditioners are very, very light, and they usually are just chock full of extracts and glycerin and humectants, and that's your glycerin, things that attract water to your hair. Things like that, those should be your first line of defense after conditioning your hair. And then using, I highly recommend, especially if your hair is already dry, like you're already in a state, you're already behind in the game, right? And that's okay. I would highly recommend some type of cream after you do the hydration, some type of styler, twist cream, and something that's water based in that cream. So it could be a thicker cream, but just something that's water based to help provide a layer of hydration and then locking in that moisture before you add your oils. Your oils should be really your last step. I know there's LCO, LOC, but whatever, I'll say this, you can try one of those, but I just recommend oils. Think of oils as more as sealants. Not every oil is a sealant. Let me just be clear. But as a whole, if we can stop thinking like, let me just go from wet hair or dry hair to oil, like let's think of hydration before the oil. That is like the most important step I could try to stress, especially if you're experiencing like severe dryness and things like that. I remember, so those grades can be girl, so disrespectful. So disrespectful. I have y'all seen, I have grays now. I have quite a few grays now. You can't see because right now I have my hair parted, but y'all seen them in my henna indigo video. Y'all see them. If I probably part my hair on certain sides, y'all will see them. Them grays. They have a complete mind of their own, and I will say they're so very coarse and they're so very wiry, and so they dry out, they get dehydrated so much easier than the rest of my hair. They require a lot more attention, right? Like, and just being intentional, just be very intentional. From what I hear, it's much easier when the majority of your hair starts to turn gray. It's just in this weird process when you're still dealing with majority, like for me, majority fine strands, and then I have wiry coarse strands that just came out of nowhere that are gray, and I'm like, what are y'all doing? Can y'all I can gel them down and they just be like, no, no. So I feel y'all. I feel y'all on the gray struggle, but it's also a learning process. Like I'm still also researching more about gray strands, and like I said, I learned that most gray strands start to have a medulla and they become way more coarse, and that's why they're just such a different texture, and they don't respond to products the way we normally are used to, right? Especially if you're like me, you've had fine to medium strands your whole life, and all of a sudden you have almost a whole new set of hair that's different. It takes a bit of an adjustment. It does. Also, it tends, I believe they say gray strands, I think, tend to be more low porosity, so of lower porosity. So it's just a lot. It's a lot more to deal and manage with. Rissy says, I used to love Cantu activating curl cream. I actually did too. I actually did too, but It's all right. Listen, we all learn and grow. And listen, there's some people on here who might still use it. And if it works for you, I'm never gonna knock something if it's working for you. Sassy says my sebum production is very, very low. Yeah. I think for a lot of women of color, it is actually very, very low. That's why some people don't wash their hair every week, because their hair is just not dirty enough for them to wash it every week, and they're not producing enough sebum. Their hair doesn't smell. They don't have a lot of buildup there. I will say what can help with some sebum production is regular scalp massages. Also, your diet, getting enough fatty acids, essential fatty acids. Um, what else? Yeah, but some of that is also like, unfortunately, I don't think that, and I could be wrong, but I don't think that those who are browner skin tend to have, and I'm talking about Black and African American, and I can't say Black because there's more than just Black. Like that is not a race. Um, those with kinkier hair is what I'll say. Kinkier and coilier hair tend to have lower sebum production. And so making sure, I think, scalp massages to help spread that, help activate that, making sure you get enough fatty fish and fatty acids in your diet as well. It's hard. I don't have a lot of sebum production. I'm not on the low end, but the reason I actually wash my hair weekly is because I work out and I sweat in my scalp. Like that's where I sweat at. I'm a head sweater. And so it's not even the sebum production, it's just the sweat buildup and then the resulting smell that I will wash my hair. That's why I shampoo weekly. But if let's say I have a week where I'm just like focusing on lifting, like I've had weeks lately where I can focus on lifting, my scalp doesn't necessarily feel like it needs to get washed like the way it does when I'm dancing 5 days a week and I got sweat and I'm like, oh my God, like I need to wash my hair. I can go like this and it's like, gross. But majority of us, and that's why I say, like, if a lot of people do wash every other week, and it makes sense if your scalp is not disgusting. It does, you have very low sebum production, right? The point of the I can't say it's the only point of shampooing your hair, but the one of the major points of shampooing your hair is making sure your scalp gets clean, right? But if you're not having a lot of buildup on your scalp, there's no need to be in there washing it multiple times a week, or even, I would say, even necessarily maybe once a week, unless your hair is severely dehydrated, right? As we know, wash days when your hair is going to receive the most hydration, right? Because those cuticles get lifted, all the old dirt and buildup from products gets removed, and then you add in the conditioner and it rebinds and adds more moisture back to your hair. But outside of that, one of the main purpose of shampooing is to make sure that your scalp actually gets clean, right? And your scalp is the foundation for hair growth. Your scalp actually is where DHT builds up on, right? And so if your scalp is just not producing enough sebum, shampooing it can just lead to severe dryness over time. And that's why I'm not surprised when people tell me like, "Oh, my hair feels moisturized, but then like the roots get like netting or the roots just feel so dry." And it's understandable, especially if you're not building up enough sebum production and then you're shampooing your hair and your scalp wasn't already greasy, right? And now it's just like, I have nothing. Um, which is also why I think pre-pooing is very important if you're suffering from that, like extreme like scalp dryness. Pre-pooing before shampooing is also really going to aid in making sure your scalp doesn't get completely stripped during the wash day. Um, Coconut oil and I would say babasu oil have been shown to prevent like that high growth fatigue. So it also protects the hair before shampooing. So I would say even if your hair doesn't necessarily like oils like that, or your scalp doesn't like oils like that, I would still pre-poo with an oil prior to shampooing your hair, especially if your scalp sebum production is very low and you're feeling like your scalp is like severely suffering from dryness, right? That way, when you shampoo your hair, you're not making it feel like there's nothing left. Also, there's that fear of people who are afraid of putting like conditioner on the scalp, and I did a whole video on how that's not necessarily a bad thing. Not all conditioners created equally. Not all scalps are created equally either. So that can also help with scalp hydration. Um, yeah, I know you don't really ask a question, Sassy. I just kind of went off on a tangent. Ruby says, thanks. You're welcome, dear. Rem said, I definitely have to moisturize and hydrate the grays more often. I'm grateful for you educating us. Oh, you're welcome. And listen, the more I learn about gray hair, the more I will share with you guys about it. And I think it's also one of those things like until you experience it, like you kind of know about it. Well, not everyone, but I read about stuff, but like you don't necessarily divulge enough energy until it starts happening to you, right? And then you're like fully invested. You're like, oh my God, now I have gray hairs. Let me learn about them. And I would say the more gray hairs I start to have and develop, the more I research and learn about gray hair. And, just that way I can educate everyone and also benefit myself. Say exactly, yeah. Go for it on the effigy. Yeah, I'm definitely ready. I'm definitely ready. Once I create, I just don't like the screen. Once I create a an apogee like treatment, I'll definitely put it on the market. But y'all know I gotta go and test it for myself for a while first. So yeah. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. We're coming up on an hour. I'm willing to stay on and answer any questions if you have any more. If not, I'm also gonna get back to cleaning and doing my hair. It is also Super Bowl Sunday, so y'all know we could also be getting ready for that. It says bonding treatments. Oh, it's so funny. Someone actually asked me this on Friday too. But I haven't used a bonding treatment out, and I'll tell you this: there's nothing wrong with bonding treatments. And if who are on here don't know, bonding treatments. What did I do? Did I put something on my bonding treatments? Are basically like so our hair is held together by disulfide bonds, right? I actually talked about this in my last video. They're basically keratin has sulfur bonds like this, and they help contribute to the structure of your hair. So one sulfur bond, another sulfur bond, and they create a disulfide bridge is what they do. And these disulfide bridges break through pH and through chemical changes. And so those who benefit the most, I'm not saying those who don't do these things can't benefit, but those who benefit the most from bonding treatments are those who have done some sort of damage to their hair. Those who have heat damage, those who color their hair, those who relax their hair, or use some type of chemicals in their hair, they benefit the most because what happens when you have those chemical processes, those disulfide bonds are broken. They do reform in different ways, right? So, like when you have, it's hard to describe it by just doing this, but in like the relaxer process, right? Those disulfide bonds break completely and they reform in a different structure. So right now, if you can imagine that disulfide bonds are in a curly structure, but when you use a chemical process, the disulfide bonds reform and into a straighter structure, right? And so the bonds breaking, the bonds forming and breaking, the bonds forming and breaking, um, obviously they don't ever go back to normal, and there's damage being done, like heat damage is the same thing. And so the bonding treatments are really good for those who have, again, those three. Those who I would say those who have chemicals, those who use excessive heat or have changed their pH, these certain keratin treatments in their hair, they benefit the most from bonding treatments. Those of us who I would say might have some type of damage, there's wear and tear like protein treatments and that we use in our hair. You might benefit from it. You just may not see as much as if somebody who had color treated hair or chemically treated hair. Um, those people will see the most benefits from it. And I think it's also fine if you decide to do like, you know what, I'm not going to use henna, but I'm going to use a bonding treatment every 3 weeks. And then I'm alternate that with a protein treatment. And then I'm alternate that with a bonding treatment. And I'm talking about 3 to 6 weeks apart, right? And you alternate it like that. I think that also will be fine. But I don't know if you're going to like, from what I hear, it's very expensive. And I don't know. I can't say I don't know if it's worth it if you're not dying or, destroying these bonds in your hair like that. Most of us are having protein loss and protein issues, and bonding treatments are not protein treatments. And protein treatments, I can't say are not bonding treatments because they bond in some way, but they're not bonding treatments in that sense. Um, so yeah, not bad, but I would say like I'm not opposed to ever trying one, but I've seen and I've actually helped someone do a bonding treatment on their hair and they didn't really see that much of a difference because they didn't have any real damage per se. Um Rem said yes, that Super Bowl Sunday food. Yeah, I'm about to go get some stuff and prep. And said, okay, I should be okay. The most I do is blow dry and occasionally straighten. Thank you again. You're welcome. And listen, if you want to try it, and listen, provide feedback. Provide us feedback. I may try it for y'all, and I think I've seen a couple other natural hair YouTubers use the Bondi one, and they both said the same thing, that they were like, I didn't really see that much of a difference. So, I mean, if you want to try it, it's out there, but it's also expensive. So if you don't want to waste your money, I don't think it's necessary. All right, any more questions? If not, I'm gonna log off and get ready for Super Bowl. Basically for Usher. I'm about to get ready for Usher. Hey Emma, she said I didn't know you were on today. Yeah, I didn't know if I was gonna come on today because I was literally on this Friday. But I felt like, you know what, I had a moment. Like I was like cleaning the bathroom and I was like, let me just come on real quick. I'm gonna try to be on more on Sundays as long as I'm not like at a brunch, or I've been brunching and dating. Been a little busy. Oh yeah, see, I was on Friday. I just randomly popped on Friday. Don't ask me why, but so I randomly popped on Friday. So yeah, yeah, because I miss. You know what the crazy part is? You know how tired I was this past week. I just could not get my life together. I think doing the events, I had an event Saturday, and then I had an event Monday, and then I had an event Tuesday, and I was like packing and doing all this other stuff. So like, I was just really exhausted, and I said I was gonna be I was gonna be live on Thursday, and totally forgot. And then Friday I thought I was gonna I thought Friday was Thursday. That's really what I was gonna say. I don't know where my brain is right now, but I thought Friday was Thursday. But turns out Friday was actually Friday. So anyways, I did a Friday live instead of a Thursday live. So I thought, oh, let me just come on Sunday because I done messed it all up. Um, Anywho, is you on Friday yet? Why my notifications barely work? Listen, I don't know. I feel like like YouTube punishes you. So like because I haven't been live in a while, I feel like they punish you. They punish me for like not having notifications, or like even people who have notifications on are not getting notifications. It's like I have to like go live for like a couple times for people to get notifications again. Like YouTube is weird, and I don't know. But the goal is to be live on Sundays at 1:30 p.m. I will try to remind you guys in my weekly Tip Tuesday video. And if anything changes, I will try to put it in the community section on YouTube so you guys can see like, or I'm not going to be live this week, but I'll be live on Thursday. So, I'll try to do that as well. Uh Tessin says, can bonding treatments help with excessive breakage? Tessin, I would say it depends on what the breakage and why you're having breakage. Um, yeah, it depends on why you're having the breakage. But I would say this: if you're having like excessive breakage, um, where is it happening? And did you do anything different with your diet, your regimen? And honestly, if I was having excessive breakage, I would focus on protein. If I were, I would do protein treatments first, and then I would check why I'm having that particular excessive breakage. Is it one area or is it like all over? Or is it, ooh, dating? Yeah. Congrats on the dating. Yes, yes. It took me a minute, but I'm dating someone, so thank you. Listen, my notifications suck too. Yeah, I think it's just everyone. I don't know. Maybe YouTube is just not what it used to be. All these social media platforms are just not what they used to be. Congrats on the dating. You deserve it. Thank you, thank you. Emma says they're doing it to everyone, not setting notifications. Yes, YouTube will hit you with that lightning. Yeah. Do those community postings feed uh is normally flooded with those? What is it? I don't know why the heart's like blocking. Oh, my feed. Okay, do those community postings. My feed is normally flooded with those. Okay. I'll definitely will do the community post. That way you guys can, be up on it. Emma says, while you are know the channel, you are not getting notifications. Go to setting and turn them back on. They're turning them off. Oh, interesting. They're turning them. I have to go look now because there was a couple like I follow this girl, and you guys probably know her too. Her name's like Royalty Soap. She's like a soaper, and I just like watching her make soap. And I used to always get her notifications, and I honestly thought like something happened to her because like one day I was just like not getting them, and I kind of like fell off. And then one day I was just going through my subscriptions on YouTube, and she's clearly been making videos all this time. And like I noticed her views went down substantially. And she says like one of her videos, like people are not getting notifications, she's not showing up in people's feed. And that makes no sense because like used to watch every video she ever watched, like ever posted forever. And so I know it's not just happening to me, but like people are saying like my videos are not showing up in their feed anymore. Her videos are not showing up in my feed, which is weird because like I get like maybe someone's channel I wasn't watching, but I was watching her channel. Like every video she put out, I was watching her create soap all day long. So who knows? YouTube is being very weird. I don't know. I don't know. It's like, do you need to create your own platform so you can have your own audience? Probably yes, but at this point, if you can turn the notifications back on if they are turned off somehow, I don't know what's going on. Recently they're turning them off. Yeah, you must look in the settings for that channel, clicking the bell where you subscribe, and hitting all doesn't work. Must go to that channel settings. That's so crazy. Well, thank you, Emith, for sharing that. Cousin says my hair is dry and I'm having a hard time keeping moisture. It's all over breakage. I think I'm going through the change, which is adding to it. Oh no. Cousin, how are you feeling about your hair being hydrated? I know we talk about moisture, but like are you making sure your hair is hydrated and that's that like that water humectant part of it? Like on your wash days, like what are you doing after you shampoo and condition your hair? Like give me a quick regimen. Tom says, "Nice, you're enjoying life. I love it. Thank you. Yeah, it's innocent. It's been a little while. It's been a little while. I had a lot of fun being outside this summer and traveling and all that." Jackie says, "Hi Michelle, how are you? Could you please give me some advice? I'm taking out my hair extensions on Friday. My hair has been for 3 months. I bought Amla. I'm guessing Amla. How do you use the product in my hair?" Hi Jackie. So I'm glad you're checking out your hair. I would say try an amla mask. I have a recipe on my page, or you could just use, I would say, I don't know how long your hair is, but like a cup of amla powder. And I would use like 3 tablespoons of an oil your hair likes. And maybe even like, do you have like, I would say like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of conditioner, and then add water or tea you want to mix your almond powder with to get the consistency of like cake batter. But I would shampoo your hair. So after you take out the braids, I would not recommend putting a mask in right away. Um, Make sure your hair is fully detangled, right? And I'm saying this because hair masks can create like a ton of tangles and matting if your hair is not thoroughly detangled. So make sure your hair is fully detangled. I would probably, when you're preparing your taking out your hair, making sure it's fully detangled, put into a large twist. I would pre-poo your hair first and foremost, shampoo, and then I would use the amla mask on your hair. And again, like I said, I don't know how long your hair is, but I would use 3/4 to a quarter cup or to a cup of amla powder, 3, maybe 4 tablespoons of oil, and I would add like 3 to 4 tablespoons of conditioner. Mix that up and apply it to your entire hair and leave it on for at least an hour. And then rinse it out and then still deep condition your hair. That way you're still getting some of those wonderful benefits from the amla. That way it won't be too drying on your hair as well, because I'm assuming your hair probably needs a lot of hydration and moisture right now. Um, but yeah, don't put it on your hair while still tangled. Make sure your hair is fully detangled, especially because you had your hair extensions. I know like certain things just create more massive tangles if you put herbs on hair that's already like tangled. That's all. Um, you said YouTube must be taking people out again. I remember the YouTube lightning was a huge thing years back. Yeah, so many YouTubers had to make whole new channels because of it. YouTube hit them with the lightning. Oh, I can't remember the exact phrasing for it though. I know lightning was a part of it. Breaks my heart that they're doing this again. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what YouTube lightning is, but if they're like blocking people from being seen and all that, then I can say yes. And it's not just happening to me. It's like I'm saying like some way bigger content creators. She almost has like I think like 500,000 subscribers. So I don't know why stuff is just like not showing up in the feed. And I don't know. I don't know if it's because it's like, as like I'm selling products, she's selling products. I don't know if they're targeting people who also have like their own business versus YouTubers who are just um maybe just, I don't know, talking about stuff, right, without selling anything. But she's, I don't know. Like I tell people, not all of my videos am I selling the product. I still do some form of like DIY. I still try to give, help out to people, but YouTube is a business. Everything is a business. Instagram is a business. Facebook is a business. And like my I would say my Instagram has, I obviously haven't been on it like I used to be, but because I won't take out ads on Instagram, they won't push my content. They want you to like buy into it, right? And so YouTube is also a business as well. And so I feel like if they feel like they can't get a cut of it, why would I push your videos? Why would I push your content? Um, it's all part of the game as you learn. Okay, let's see. Amber said, I just did the pumpkin, amla, brahmi, and honey, but I'm not washing it out, just going to rinse it out. Okay, that's fine. As long as, listen, if you shampooed your hair beforehand and then you used it after, that's fine. You don't have to wash it out again. I don't recommend, like, honestly, you don't have to. You still get all those benefits. And as long as your hair is not dry, don't worry about it. Tommy said, I didn't get a notification. I was just checking and seeing that you were live. Oh, crazy. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Okay, Tesman says, I just started using humectant water, leave-in and cream, then sealant. I've seen a difference. I guess I have to give it more time. I was just wondering if a bond treatment would help. I would honestly, I would try like all those things. Like, great, I'm here. Glad you're doing those hydrating things. So that's like probably key. But try protein treatment. Try like a stronger protein treatment too. So I would say something stronger than my strengthening hair mask. I would say something like Apogee. And I say that too because a lot of times breakage is from a number of things, but breakage from a lack of hydration and moisture. And I think people automatically don't think protein, but protein helps you to retain moisture, right? So if your cuticles are like shattered from too much combing and too much dryness, too many negative things on your hair, right? And not enough sealants, not enough things that help lock in moisture. A protein treatment does just that. It literally helps you retain moisture for longer. So it's one of those things I honestly recommend. I can't say a bonding treatment would be necessary unless you're experiencing breakage because you colored your hair or you strained it too much and you're having heat damage, or you relaxed your hair, um, or dyed it. If I said I relaxed already, dyed it. Unless you're having dryness from those particular issues, I wouldn't say a bond. I don't think you're gonna see a bond treatment work as much as a protein treatment would work. Z Baby says, hi everybody. I've been watching and cleaning and laundry and meal prep before Super Bowl. Yeah. I'm about to listen, I'll probably be on for about 5 more minutes and then I'm going to go finish doing those things too. Um, Since I watch weekly, I'm thinking about going bi-weekly and see if that would help some too. Yeah, bi-weekly might be helpful, or just like I don't like sometimes I only wash my hair with shampoo one time. I know some people like, oh, you have to cleanse with 2 times with shampoo, but when you're washing weekly, you may not need to do that. But yeah, I would try bi-weekly washes. I would just make sure, again, you sound like you're getting hydration, which is now and very important, but I would also really focus on that protein treatment. I would do that. Jackie says, my hair is just below my ears. Thank you. Great advice. Could you use a pre-poo of rice water and also fenugreek seeds? Yeah, definitely could. You definitely could. Um, if you're gonna use the rice water and fenugreek, just focus that on the. I mean, you could do the down the length of your hair. Focus that on the scalp and down the length of your hair. Make sure your hair, I would section it off into like as many tiny twists as you can so your hair doesn't like retangle on itself. When you're using something that's mainly water based as a pre-poo, um, if you're like me and your hair is very kinky and loves to wrap around itself, I would recommend putting that on and then putting it into like twists so that way it doesn't shrink up while you're pre-pooing the hair. Z Baby says, Michelle, can you teach best methods to protect wrapped scarf hair while sleeping? My scarf comes off multiple times during the night. If I tie it any tighter, I'll have a headache. Alternative solutions. I'll make sure you guys how to tie a scarf. Actually, Nika showed me this technique. Maybe I'll show you the next YouTube video that I do. It's a technique you do it. It's called a what is it like a sailor's knot or I forget the name. I forget the exact name of it. But Nika actually showed me this technique. And it's just a way that when you fold it and you like wrap it into a way that way it just doesn't move. It doesn't come off. So I'll show you, or I think, or you can probably check Nika's account. I don't know what she titled the video, but I'm pretty sure she has something about like headscarf or how to tie a scarf. But if not, I can show you guys in the next video. And if I find her video, I can also link her video as well. Because that's the technique I've used. I actually don't necessarily have issues with my scarf coming off at night. I'm not a severely wild sleeper, and all of my pillows are satin. Literally every last one of my pillowcases are satin lined. So even if it does come off, I don't really worry too much because everything is satin. Mm, 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 mm. Oh, Tessa says, "Oh, thanks. I'll incorporate more protein. How often for the protein given the breakage?" I would start with it at least once every 3 weeks, every 3 to 4 weeks. But I will say this: start with the Apple G one. It is a very powerful, strong one. I do have a video of a DIY step by step tutorial of how to do Apple G. It can seem intimidating. Your hair will get hard, right? You're going to put it on. It's a liquid. You put it on your hair in sections. You can comb through it while it's liquid. You're going to use if you have a hooded dryer, use that. If you don't have a hooded dryer, you're going to use a hand dryer, and you need the heat. You have to have heat with this. That binds the proteins into the inner cortex of your hair, and you use that, and it penetrates and it makes your hair hard as a rock. I mean, hard, like don't touch it, don't comb it, don't do anything, don't freak out. It's normal, it's what you want it to do. And once your hair is completely hard, then you can go under and rinse your hair under the shower water and let the water loosen it, and your hair will feel amazing afterwards. Especially if you're dealing with breakage. It like when I tell you if I have any type of breakage, and I'm it's been a while, and I say this like some people ask me all the time, like, how do you know when to do an Apple G treatment versus like maybe my strengthening hair mask, right? My strengthening hair mask has a good amount of protein, but also has a good amount of moisture. But once in a blue moon, I'm gonna hit it with that Apple G, and let me tell you, it will dead any form of breakage immediately for me. I know I haven't done one in like 3 months, 4 months, 3 months. I don't know. It's been a little while. I just know for me it's time, right? So the next protein treatment that I do will be a hardcore protein treatment. You're experiencing breakage, so I would recommend doing that. But again, I do have a video with a step by step how to do it. You can watch it beforehand, watch it while you're doing it, read the steps. But it is a really good. I would say it's a really good protein treatment for the hair, and it will dead breakage in its tracks. Um, Mrs. says, Z baby, thank you for the tip on sulfur oil. It cleared out all my eczema for about 4 days during the summer. Oh, awesome, awesome. Mrs. I can't keep a scarf on during the day. Amber says, what herbs do you take or selling that helps your hair to grow? So the herbs that I'm using right now for hair growth are, they're tied to basically my gloss bars that I do sell. But if you don't have the gloss bars, you can definitely make your own mask. Amla, fenugreek, neem, moringa, and bringraj, aloe vera, and everything always usually has like rosemary or peppermint essential oil. So those are the herbs I'm using for hair growth. And I'm taking internally, I take moringa, I take ashwagandha. Even though ashwagandha is not necessarily targeted directly for hair growth, but ashwagandha helps my stress, and stress leads to hair loss, stress leads to inflammation. So it helps to lower that and manage that. I take amla, and I haven't been drinking my green tea, but I usually drink green tea or echinacea and elderberry tea. And I take a liquid iron supplement from Gaia, Gaia. It's Plant Force Liquid Iron. And so if you don't know, Amber, I have iron anemia, and I have like a ton of videos about my hair loss story with that. And so it's a liquid iron, and it's an herbal based iron. And so I take that, and for me in that case, it does help my hair to grow because it helps prevent hair loss, and it helps keep the iron and all those stores strong and good. So, yeah, that's what I'm using. That's what I'm taking. And of course, the herbs that I'm selling that for hair growth, if you check out my page. And by the way, y'all, I am still having a 20% off sale. And if you order between now and Valentine's Day, you're automatic. If you spend at least $15, you'll automatically be entered to win our giveaway, which will be a free hair kit. It will be either the oat and aloe hair kit or the hibiscus and shea hair kit. So if you do want to do something, do a minimum order of $15, and you can be entered to win one of those. And I'll announce the winner on the 15th. Just throw that in there. But of course, for the gloss bars, I recommend, and I have that on my list, is um the almond fenugreek neem gloss bar, the moringa and almond gloss bar, the hibiscus moringa gloss bar. All three of those really great for hair growth. The bringraj amla and rosemary gloss bar. Sorry, I have two new gloss bars. That's why I'm trying to remember the exact order. So the Bringraj Amla rosemary gloss bar is also really good for that. Um, Oh, and I'm just gonna say the iron again, since y'all let me tell you, I got everyone on this iron. I feel like they guys gotta pay me. Y'all gotta pay me. No, it doesn't. Honestly, it really doesn't matter because I've been using this iron for years. I highly recommend it. I tell everyone about it. I'm gonna drop it in the chat for you guys. It is one of the best. It's their bestseller on their website. It really brings your iron levels up. It is plant based. It's absolutely amazing. Tastes great. It's Gaia herbs, and it's the plant forest liquid iron. It's the one I take. It helps me tremendously. Okay, let me answer these last few questions here. Okay, Rissy says, "Get an adjustable bonnet. I got one from Shein. I can't stop using it." Oh, do you have one? I actually am not really a fan of bonnets for whatever reason. I never used them growing up. My family was a scarf family. We were not a bonnet family ever. I do have a bonnet, but I don't use it ever. If y'all see on my videos when I come out with my little scarf and I like, voila, I'll take out the scarf. It's a scarf. I use a scarf 100% of the time. Um, okay. But listen, if you love a bonnet and it works for you, by all means. An adjustable bonnet sounds amazing too, because that way you don't have to worry about it just falling off. Jackie says, "Thank you for your great hair advice on the pre-poo and rice water." Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Your hair looks lovely. Michelle, that hairstyle suits you. Thank you. Thank you. I had it in that like twist bun. I was about to do my pre-poo, so I took it out of the bun and then I was like, let me just go live. But thank you. Nina says, "What do you think about leave-in conditioners or salads with protein if you struggle with breakage?" I think they're good. I will tell you this. I'm a big advocate for protein, and I will tell you this: not all protein are created equal. And I have some of my products and leave-ins and salads have protein in it. I'm gonna tell you this for a reason. There are proteins that are film formers, and there are proteins that can penetrate deep into the hair strands. Not all proteins are created equally. And you'll find out that your hair actually retains moisture for longer with the addition of certain proteins in the products, in the leave-ins, and in the stylers. I feel like if you're having protein overload, then yes, you want to obviously minimize use of additional proteins, right? But there are different forms. So even if you're having, okay, so I'll say this, like if you're having protein overload, it could mean you have a sensitivity towards a particular protein. Doesn't mean you have a sensitivity towards all proteins, right? You might have a sensitivity towards wheat proteins, right? And your hair at that point may not need those particular essential acids that are found in wheat proteins. But let's say something like so wheat proteins are big, large proteins. Silk proteins are very, very tiny. I'm talking about hydrolyzed silk, if for reference, hydrolyzed silk, which means it's broken down to amino acids and peptides, which are a smaller form that can actually penetrate into the hair cuticle, if you have a medulla, into the medulla of the hair and provide that strength from the inside out. There are film forming proteins which actually provide a protective barrier around the hair, and there are proteins that go deep into the hair. Um, so let's say wheat proteins has 6 different amino acids, right? And your hair hates those, or your hair, or I can't say hates. Your hair has enough of those amino acids, right? Of those 6, it is full of those 6. But let's say you use silk amino acids and or silk protein. And again, it's broken down to amino acids. And it has the other 6 that your hair needed, that your hair was actually depleted of. Your hair will then not feel like trash by using silk proteins. But every time you use wheat proteins, it's going to feel like trash because your hair has enough of the wheat protein, the amino acids found in the wheat proteins, but it doesn't have enough of the amino acids found in the silk proteins. It's kind of hard to explain, but like that's the best way to describe it. Is if your hair is already tapped out in this, you're adding more of that doesn't do you any benefits. But like your hair breaks down in different ways, right? And certain amino acids get broke down easier. The larger ones versus the smaller ones, it's not a perfect science. They don't know why some break down faster while some stay stable, why some people's hair likes wheat and some people's hair likes oat and some people's hair likes silk, some people's hair like rice, right? And so sometimes when we discuss my hair hates protein, your hair may hate that particular protein, but your hair is a protein and your hair breaks down over time from styling, from heat, from washing, conditioning, touching, the environment, the sun. It breaks down, and it breaks down certain types of proteins, certain types of amino acids and peptides found in your hair. It may not break down of every single one, which is why some people are sensitive to that particular one because there's too much of it already in your hair. So that is why I use Night, don't start, please. That is why I actually tend to use some of the smaller proteins. If you see there's tend to use a lot of silk amino acids and stuff because silk is tiny enough, and they tend to be the ones I find most people actually lose very quickly. And that's why when you find them in your leave-in conditioners, you find them in their stylers, they don't dry your hair. They don't make your hair feel dry, right? The hibiscus and shea butter styler has protein. Um, a lot of the things I have protein, but it's built in a way that's not enough for you to feel like a protein treatment. There's not enough at all. It's just enough for your hair to actually retain that moisture better, right? Which is why people tell me all the time, "Oh my God, your products are so moisturized. My hair stays hydrated for longer." I'm formulating in a way that it actually helps your hair. It helps you, it almost acts, some of them act like a humectant. So it helps you to hold moisture better. It like binds to those molecules and keeps them in your hair. And I found that those ones, again, they absorb very quickly and they leave very quickly. So you using it regularly, using the stylers regularly, won't cause your hair to all of a sudden one day just be hard, right? That's always been a fear of people, like, I'm afraid if I use it every single wash day, every single time, my hair is eventually going to get hard. As long as you're continually doing the same things you're doing, which again, going out in the environment, washing your hair, styling your hair, depleting it from your hair in the same ways you are, you're just making sure your hair is almost at a normal a level, right? There's a lot more to protein than it's been demonized for so long. And again, like I said, there's not enough actual scientific research about it, but I can't stress enough your hair is a protein. It is a keratin protein, and the other proteins we're using, like the wheat and the oats and the silk, they just have different amino acids, right? And so your hair, most times the people tell you they hate protein, their hair hates one particular type of protein. And that's really what it is. Their hair hates that particular protein, so avoid it. Avoid it, don't use it. But your hair, I'll tell you, the proteins that I research and the ones that I'm using, I've done a lot of research in, and of course, it's not a perfect science. It's just not. But the ones I research are ones that tend to be the ones that are most depleted from most people's hair, especially from kinky, coily hair, because our hair has bends in it, right? Every bend you have in your hair is potential for damage, is potential for breakage naturally. The natural friction of our hair rubbing up against each other, as opposed to those with straighter hair, creates more damage, more breakage. If you look at the if you look at your hair under a microscope, every bend has almost like a slight crack in it. So I tell people like black people will probably need protein more than any other race, and yet we demonize it. But we also suffer from some of the most breakage and so many damaging things that happen to our hair from normal things like washing our hair, wash day. And so the addition of using the small enough amino acids, the small enough peptides at a low dosage, it actually just adds more moisture to the hair and doesn't do more damage. Um, that's why I'm always talking about protein, like, at some point in all my challenges, I always encourage protein. There was this whole big old hype before, if you have low porosity hair, you don't need protein. That's also a lie. I have low porosity hair, and let me tell y'all, I need protein. Your hair, especially if you have fine strands, you need protein. Medium strands, you need protein. Coarse hair is one of the few hairs, yeah, a few hairs, I can say it in the best way, that needs, I would say, the least amount of protein out of the three uh what is it, thickness, right? And so out of fine, medium, and coarse hair, coarse needs the least. And that's again because we already learned coarse hair has a full medulla, a full thick medulla, which means it actually is much stronger and more resilient than normal fine to medium strands. It doesn't break down as quickly, doesn't cause as much breakage. You ever see girls that go and dye their hair? If you look at Asian hair and they say Asian hair is so different, Asian hair can use bleach, Asian hair can do all these other things because most Asians have very coarse strands and their hair doesn't tear down as quickly as easily as fine and medium strands. It also doesn't tear down as easily because their hair is straight. There are no bends and cracks in it naturally that kinky coily hair has. So those people don't necessarily need protein as often as those of us who have fine to medium strands and who have kinky and coily hair. I know there's a lot to say, but I always be on my tangent about protein because literally, it's the biggest thing that I feel like we neglect, and it's the biggest, I would say, biggest cause for why sometimes we struggle with retaining moisture and retaining length because we're avoiding it, we're trying to get away from it, and it's the thing we need the most. It's just making sure you have the right one though that works for your hair is the most important thing. Don't if you try one protein and it doesn't work for you, don't keep trying it. It's not that's not gonna one day just work for you. Try something else, right? And that's okay if it's I tell you if it's okay, it's that's okay if it's not my product. And like by all means, get something that works best for you and your hair. All right, let me scroll up and get off my let me get off my soapbox. Let me get off. Let me get back down. Let me step back down. um okay. Rissa, there's also a scarf tying technique on Instagram last week. That's really good. Well, Rissa, if you know the video, feel free to share it too. ZB said adjustable bonnet, right? Rim says that liquid iron has made a huge difference. I have to use 2 times suggested dose, but it helps. Listen, I'm glad it helps. It worked for me too. I actually use the 20 milligrams. So it says like 10 milligrams. It comes in a cap that you can pour for the liquid iron I suggested. I do 20 milligrams. To get my iron back up, like if I haven't taken it in a while. But then once it's where it needs to be, I just take the usual 10 milligrams. But it is a great iron. Great reviews. No constipation. I don't have any stomach issues when taking it, which is like the number one issue I have when I was taking other forms of iron. But it is in the chat. Again, that's just that's my recommendation. I don't get no profit off of that, but I just sharing it because it works for me and I love it. Rissy, yes, my hair and scalp hates wheat protein. Yeah, and see, Rissy, a lot of I'm not demonizing wheat protein, but I do know a few people whose hair hates wheat protein, and that's why I said it. But some people's hair might like it, so don't automatically avoid it if you don't know for sure. But listen, it's just one of those things. Nita says we have the same type hair, fine and low porosity. So informative and love watching your videos. Give me more confidence in my hair. Oh yes, that makes sense about the different proteins. So good, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Emma says, yeah, my moisture stays from one wash day to the next. Yeah, me too, Emmett. Like when I tell you, once I started understanding more about hair, I don't have all those issues I used to have. I just don't have them anymore. The only time I have issues if I suddenly stop doing the things that I know work for my hair, right? I'm not using the right products or I go for weeks without hydrating my hair like I did during Black Friday. But like outside of if I'm doing my regular regimen and regular routine, I don't have any of those issues I used to have anymore. Like My hair thrives and it flourishes, it stays moisturized until literally the next wash day. Um, and I try to tell people, don't wait till your hair is like struggling dry before you wash it. Definitely get yourself into that routine. Um, don't wait for dryness to happen. Again, you can hydrate midweek if you need to. Um, yeah. Denise says, thanks so much for the much needed education. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. So this information is great. Thanks so much. I wonder, eating some of these sources regularly, wheat, oat, quinoa, means you may not need those particular protein. Yeah, exactly. The biggest thing, and well, like I say, I know I'd be on my tangent, on my soapbox about like external causes, but like, yes, if you're eating enough protein in your body, your hair comes. That's how your hair is growing, right? Hair and nails are excess of things. So yeah, if you have enough in your body, you may not need those particular types of protein. It's the things that you get depleted. Like I said, the things that we're not using. Like I said, I've found through my research, and now I'm sure some company's gonna come out and be like, oh, silk proteins. Now we're only using silk. I feel like this is what happens every time I get on my soapbox, and now a new company comes out with some new line. Um, Let me stop. But but y'all know who I'm talking about here. But yes, Needham, you're exactly right with that. You are exactly right with that. Tessin says, "How can I use hydrosols in my routine?" It just depends on which hydrosol you are looking to use. Some can be more astringent, like rose can be a little more astringent. Aloe can be a little more hydrating. You can use them actually as like a let's say your hair's dry right now and you're like, I want to moisturize my hair and I don't necessarily want to just add water. You can add that in additional water. You can actually use straight hydrosol because hydrosols are usually from water. You could do 50-50%. You could use 50% distilled water, 50% hydrosol, and I would still add like, let's say you're doing a 8 ounce thing, right? I would add 3.5 ounces of water, 3.5 ounces of liquid hydrosol, and then 1 ounce of some humectant, glycerin, honey, agave, whatever. You would spray that on your hair as like the base. That's your hydration. That will give you max hydration, right? So if your hair was dry right now and you're like, oh my God, I just need to really hydrate my hair, you can use that, spray that on your hair, and then seal in with like a light oil or light butter or light cream, right? A little cream, pop, your hair would be probably hydrated, moisturized together, just like that. You can use hydrosols directly on your scalp. They can also provide hydration. I would also recommend using that glycerin or honey, water, whatever, on your scalp. One thing I'm learning again in the sebum video, your scalp actually does naturally contain glycerol. Glycerol is glycerin. So there's nothing wrong with getting glycerin on your scalp. It won't create some crazy environment. It will actually help your scalp to maintain hydration and moisture for longer. And again, some hydrosols are more astringent than others. So like if you're having scalp issues, like using rose directly on your scalp can also be really, really good. Like rose hydrosol on your scalp can be really good. But you do want to look at what components are found. No sound? Did I lose sound? Or is it me or is it everyone? Can everyone hear me or no? It's breaking up. Oh, I'm in my bedroom, so I'm probably having a bad reception, bad connection. Um, Everyone else let me know. Oh, you can hear. It was breaking up earlier. Okay. It's probably because my router is like two rooms away. Okay. Okay, maybe it was just a second. Okay. Um okay. Thank you. I don't know what you heard about the hydrosols, but hopefully you heard that. But if not, I'll just kind of quickly review it. Hydrosols are for different things. So like if you look at rose hydrosol, it's more stringent. Aloe can be more hydrating. So I was saying you can, again, if it's more stringent, you want to dilute it 50% water, 50% hydrosol, and then add glycerin. I was saying in my research of sebum, glycerol, which is glycerin, is contained on the scalp. So it actually will help you to lock in moisture for longer. So there's nothing wrong with using those hydrosols on your scalp. Just make sure you know the components of the hydrosol. So, like I said, just make sure you research that and um try to figure out like ask yourself, why are you using it, right? Try to figure out, if this is more astringent, is this going to be more conditioning, is this going to be more drying? If it's going to be more on the, I can't say drying, but more astringent side, I would dilute it 50% water, 50% hydrosol, and then add like that tablespoon of glycerin, so you get that moisture and humectant to bind water to that hair. Okay. um Tavi says protein is 100. Once I incorporate it into my hair, yes. Protein treatments, I'm telling you, that people who suffer from severe dryness or breakage, I'm like, try it. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. Emma says, I do a glycerin treatment on my scalp. It feels so good after. Yeah. One of the things I said in my scalp sebum video that I did on week 2 of the challenge was, our sebum contains glycerin. Glycerin is a humectant. It just binds water and moisture to your scalp. Those who are having severe scalp dryness, that's why I recommend humectant water or some type of leave-in, because it literally helps you to retain that moisture. It binds water to your scalp. So I'm not surprised that adding glycerin to your scalp feels amazing afterwards, because you're probably just attracting all that moisture, and your scalp sebum doesn't hate that because it's naturally found in your sebum. So it's not going to have some crazy effect on your hair. But maybe makes it feel really good, really positive. So I'm glad to hear that, Emma. All right, you guys. I am getting ready to log off. I can't believe it's almost another 40 minutes later. I enjoyed today. Today was really, really good. If you do have any other questions afterwards, leave it in the chat. I will be dropping Tip Tuesday's video. Again, if you want to pick up some hair products, I am still having the 20% off sale. Again, if you order between now and February 14th, you'll automatically, if you spend $15 or more, you'll automatically be entered to win either the hibiscus and shea wash day kit or the Onal collection. I'll announce that winner on February 15th. Let me see what else is here. Because I used to use hydrosols on my face. I never thought about it for hair. Love. Yeah, enjoy that good food, y'all. Yeah. It's really good for your face and skin. That's what I said. Like, hydrosols have different properties and different things. So really, really good. If y'all don't know, I use hydrosols in a lot of my products. Surprise, but not really. So yeah, they have a lot of benefits and properties. So it's all about what you're trying to achieve. But yeah, they're wonderful. All right, you guys, have fun today. Enjoy the Usher concert and the Super Bowl, I guess, and the funny commercials. Have some time with family, friends. I'm about to go have fun with my friends. Definitely gonna enjoy some good food. I already worked out this morning, so I got my workout in. So I almost feel guilty about all the food I'm about to eat. And enjoy your week. If you guys are in the Philly area, I will be at again. I'll be doing Black Hair 101 at the Greater Olney Library tomorrow at 4:30, and then on Thursday again I will be doing my last one at Tacony Library. So you can come out and see me there. By all means, do. But that's it, y'all. I will see you guys. Leave any questions afterwards if you do on this video or on the next video for Tip Tuesday. Bye bye. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nita. Thank you, Teslin and Rayma.